Thank you very much. And welcome to my little secret. In African culture, when a girl has a child out of wedlock, it's a stigma. It becomes a problem. What did this lady do when her daughter had not only one, nor two, but three children out of wedlock with 3 different men? We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we will be listening to what she did. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Before the break, I was talking about this lady I met whose daughter had 3 children out of wedlock. Let's listen to what she did.
My name is Gertrude Asamoah. I come from Bompata in Ashanti Achim district, but I haven't been there for about 42 years. I lived most of my time in Ghana, in Kumasi. My father used to work at Tech University Hospital. So, but I went to secondary school at Tech and then went to Jabin Teachers Training College. And when I finished my teacher training, Sete, which is diploma now, 3 months or 4, and I went to England. So when I got there, I decided to do nursing because that was what I wanted to do at first. But due to some circumstances, I couldn't do the nursing. I did teaching. I did psychiatry nursing for 3 years. And then just before I finished my training, because I said to myself I wasn't going to have any children before I finished the training. So just before I was about to finish, when I was sitting my exam, my final exam, I was 4 months pregnant with my first daughter. And luckily for me, when the results came, I had passed. So I was so happy. And then I became a staff nurse. And Ekua didn't want to go to anybody because she was a bit clingy to me. So I decided that I'll go on night. And then the father will look after her during the night. And then when I come from work, I'll look after her during the day. So I did that for a long period during the time I had all the children. I left Ekua's dad when Ekua was 5.5 years. And Nana, who is Ekua's younger brother, was 2.5 years old. And at that time, I had my mortgage, and then I put them in private school as well. So it was very, very hard. I had to work day and night, especially when they are on holidays, so that I could get their school fees. It was really, really, really hard. Sometimes I have to forfeit their food to pay their school fees. But gradually things got better because my mom came there to help me. My sister came, my brother came, so it was slightly better. Where I lived, I didn't like the schools there. So being a teacher before, I wanted the best of education for these 2 children. That's why I opted for the private, because I wanted to give them good foundation so that they can build upon it. And because of that, it paid off because my son got, at that time, they call it assisted place. It's like scholarship for him he went to one of the best private schools. And there they call it, the top private schools are called public schools. He went to one of them called Dulwich College. And Ekua went to convent private school. So I was so happy. And when the last one came, because they are not from the same fathers, because I had divorced Ekua's dad, and then had met this man whom I thought I was going to get married to, but it didn't work. So I had Christina, and I did the same for Christina, and she got scholarships throughout. She got scholarship to Christ Hospital, which is another public school in England, and then went to City of London Girls' School, which is another public school, one of the top public schools in London, and then went to Oxford to read mathematics, and she's now an accountant. I am so impressed with the children because Ekua is a very hard-working girl. She became a psychiatric nurse like me, and she's very hard-working. She has put her children in private schools just like I did, and she expects the achievement they had from her children as well. At the moment, she's got 3 children without a father, and it doesn't bother her, and it doesn't bother me either, because I try to help as much as I can with them. My son, who went to Dulwich College, went to university, and he is now a producer. He works sometimes with BBC, sometimes with ITV, and then does all sorts of producing work. And the younger one, who is now in Paris, she's my pride, my joy. She's my everything. She's the baby, and I love her so much. She is a very intelligent girl. She's the one who went to Oxford, and she's now an accountant. She's a qualified accountant, chartered accountant. It's better to stay single than to be in a marriage which you don't like. We always say, because I'm staying in the marriage because of the children. If you are not careful, you will die and leave the children. So me, when Ekua she wanted to abort the first child, and I told her that I do not believe in abortion. When we were young, because we wanted to achieve so much, we had so many abortions. We put our life at stake just because of, we are scared of your parents. But when she became pregnant, I told her that if she aborts it, I will report her to the police, and I'll report whoever did the abortion for her to the police. And that scared her and kept the baby. This child has grown to be very handsome boy, very intelligent, and I don't wish for anything else. I love all my grandchildren, although they haven't got fathers. I love them all. And I'll do everything I can to help Ekua to bring them up. Women can survive. All that you have to do is to trust in God first, and then trust yourself. Because you don't need men all the time. One thing that I encountered was that whenever you are free with somebody's husband, they think you are having an affair or something with them. And that put me off, because sometimes you can have a close friend, but not anything else, just a friend. And then they say so many things about you, that you are a whore, you are this and that. But as far as I'm concerned, if you have a friend who is married, that doesn't mean that you are having anything with the person. When you are with a man, because of the nature of men, they are the head. Sometimes you may suggest something which is very good, but because he thinks he's the boss, he will suppress you and wouldn't take your advice. Sometimes I see some women, they do everything for a man, and the men use them. So I feel that if you are on your own, and the money you are using and your time and your energy that you are using on a man, you can use it on your own child, which I think will benefit you in future than using it on somebody's child. I remember I told my ex-husband that he should go and look for a job. Otherwise, I'll kick him out of my house because he's not my child. I'm going to, now that I had 2 children, I want to concentrate on my own 2 children. So if he wants to depend on me, he should go to his own mother. So my advice to women is that especially those who haven't who have gone into this marriage, especially those who go in as a second timers, it seems that you want to please this person to stay in the marriage, but you do everything and it won't be okay. Sometimes when people talk about their husbands, first they say so nice things about them, but when you go deep down into it, you see that the woman is suffering so much. So our advice, if the marriage is good, why not? We all want good husbands. But if you think it's no good, why do you stay on? With me, I am so much against abortion. Apart from being a Catholic now, I never used to be a Catholic. I became a Catholic recently. Since I went into it, even before that, I didn't believe in abortion. Because when we were children, we were so much scared of our parents that we went through painful abortions, which if we were not lucky, we may not have had children. So I don't believe in abortion. I would advise every mother to take their grandchildren and look after them and let the child go back to school. And when they finish, they will be able to look after this child that you have helped. My grandchildren are my life. I told Ikua, as I said earlier on, I said, if you abort any child, I will report you to the police. You go to prison. And whoever aborted a child will go to prison as well. So this is what I will tell any mother whose child got themselves into this situation. I know that sometimes the parents don't have money or don't have the resource to help. But I'm sure if you help your daughter just for for a few years and let them continue their education, they will come back and look after their own children.
Thank you. OMG. This woman would have called the police to arrest her daughter and the surgeon who would have done the abortion for her daughter because she doesn't believe in abortion. She then made a profound statement about abortion and infertility. Does abortion affect fertility? I am not the right person to say. As a result, we went to the Leckham Hospital to speak to the expert. When we come back after the commercial break, we will be talking to Dr. Akaba at the Leckham Hospital. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I am here at the Leckham Hospital to speak to Dr. Mrs. Helen Akaba, Obs and Gynae Specialist, Head of Department, to clarify issues raised by my guest regarding abortion and infertility. Does abortion cause infertility? Does it have any effect on fertility at all? Well, let's see what the specialist has to say. Come with me. I have here with me Dr. Mrs. Helen Akaba, who is going to give us an in-depth clarification regarding the point raised by Mrs. Wilson regarding abortion and infertility. Hello, Dr. Akaba.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me.
You are welcome.
Could you please elaborate and maybe clarify the issues regarding abortion and infertility? Does abortion affect fertility at all?
Okay. We have two issues here. You've mentioned fertility and abortion. So when you take infertility, infertility means that a woman or a couple is unable to conceive or is unable to achieve a pregnancy. In medical parlance, we define infertility as inability to achieve a pregnancy after 1 year of regular unprotected sex. The definition is 1 year. So you would ask yourself, why 1 year? 1 year because it is believed, or from what has been observed, we know that even if you have a couple and there is nothing, supposing there is even nothing wrong with the couple, you can have a number of couples. The first month of regular unprotected sex, a certain percentage of them would be able to achieve a pregnancy, not the 100%. The second month, the percentage increases, and with each consecutive month, the percentage increases, so that after a year of regular unprotected sex, if a couple is not able to achieve pregnancy, then we say that couple is infertile. So you realize that it is not even given a particular month, it's not every couple having regular unprotected sex will be able to achieve pregnancy. So we would say that with regards to fertility, there are certain issues which have to come into play before pregnancy can be achieved. That is why the definition is pegged as a whole year. And there are certain things too which are beyond medical practice.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that if you take the issue of abortion and then fertility with this explanation and with this definition, you see that there are certain things which are even beyond the grasp of medicine. Because like I said, if you have couples, let's say 10 couples, having regular and protected sex, month 1, it's not every single couple in that group that will get pregnant. So which means that there are things that are beyond medicine.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's determine whether you'll be fertile or not. So supposing you've been destined, let's say you've been destined to have just one child.
Yeah.
Because just based on that definition, that if you put so many couples down having regular and protected sex, it's not each couple that will be able to achieve pregnancy. Okay. So that means that there is something, there are some factors which are beyond medicine, which determine whether you get pregnant or not. Even to buttress that point, when you are investigating a couple for infertility, a certain percentage of infertile couples, you don't find anything wrong with them.
Wow.
Their tubes are fine, their ovaries are fine, they are having sex when they should have sex. Everything is fine, but they are not able to achieve pregnancy. So we refer to such cases as unexplained infertility. So there are some factors which is out of reach or out of grasp for medical intervention. So if you cannot look at somebody and also say that you are destined to have one child or 2 children or 3 children. So supposing, based on the factors I've mentioned already, you are destined to have just a child and you have abortion. So what happens afterwards?
You won't be able to have any more.
So it means that you wouldn't even be able to have more children because somehow you are destined to have just a child. I'm sure when you look around you, there are people who you know, married couples, they have a child and they don't have any more children. Yeah. So many of them, countless.
Yeah.
And even within our social cultural circumstance, it is not normal that you would have, like, let's say a typical Ghanaian family with just a child and they don't have any more children. Yeah. In most cases, there is a desire to have more children, but there are factors that are preventing that. So you should ask yourself that why is it that this particular family, they have just a child It is in most cases, it is involuntary. So you would see that it is not, there are things beyond medical practice that determine whether you would have this number of children or not. So if you have an abortion and that is predestined to be your only child, it affects your fertility.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And then now let's take abortion itself. The WHO, that is the World Health Organization, talks about safe and unsafe abortion. Unsafe abortion, just for you to understand, means that the abortion is done in a place which is not proper for the abortion, and two, it is done by somebody who is not qualified. So under these two circumstances, WHO defines abortion as unsafe. And then we have the safe abortion, which is the opposite. That is done by a qualified person and it's also done in an appropriate environment. You get it, a safe environment. So when you take abortion, needless to say that with unsafe abortion, your risk or your chances of not having more children is so high as compared to safe abortion. But let's even take safe abortion and how it affects fertility. When we talk of abortion, I think we all understand what abortion is. It is termination of pregnancy. So it starts from manipulation of the cervix. When we talk about the cervix, the end, we have the womb, and then at the end of the womb, we have the cervix. So abortion, whether it is safe or unsafe, it involves some manipulation at the cervix. You have to hold the cervix. If the cervix is closed, you may have to force it open, or you may have to give drugs that would open the cervix and all that. So there is some form of manipulation at the cervix, even if abortion is safe or unsafe. And with this manipulation, there are consequences. There are people who have done safe abortions, by years to come, they have come, when now pregnancy is desirable, they have come with something we call cervical incompetence. That is in medical parlance. But if it's incompetence, when we say something is incompetent, what does it mean? It means that you are not capable of doing what you have to do. So in the same way, when we say cervical incompetence, it means that the end of the womb, which is the cervix, it's supposed to be firm, to be able to support a pregnancy, to term. And you can imagine the pregnancy, as the baby is growing, the womb is getting enlarged and the weight is getting heavier. But the cervix should be able to withstand the pressure from above and still be closed, such that the womb does not push its content down. But in certain cases, you have the cervix being very weak and not being able to perform this function. So we say it is incompetent. And in medical parlance, we say cervical referring to the cervix, and then incompetent referring to the fact that it's not able to do the work it has to do.
Wow.
And one of the causes is if you've had abortions, because there's some manipulation on the cervix, and it can cause this problem, which can also which can also affect your fertility or your ability to carry a pregnancy to term and have children. You understand?
Yeah.
And then still, even with a safe abortion, it also involves some manipulation of the uterus itself. And that is the surface of the uterus. So people have done abortions. It may even be safe, as I've defined already by WHO standard. It may be safe, but it's ended in damage of the surface lining of the uterus. So all these things affect your ability to conceive, which we refer to as infertility. And this is even for safe abortions. Let's come to unsafe abortion. As for unsafe abortion, needless to say that it causes infertility. And it even causes unsafe abortion has been shown to contribute greatly to maternal mortality.
Wow.
So unsafe abortion in itself can even kill you, so that you don't even have the chance to even have the infertility problem to start with. And then, even if it doesn't kill you, some of the other things it can do is that because of the infection, if we say unsafe abortion, if you are doing the abortion in an environment which is not appropriate, it can mean that the place is unclean, the instruments used and all that, they are all not clean. So it increases your risk of germs being introduced into your reproductive system. So with all these germs, you have infection, and the infections go up, they affect the womb, and they also cause blockage of the tubes. When I talk about tubes, we have from the womb, we have 2 outlets, which they leave the womb and they enter the lower part of the body of the woman. And these are referred to as the tubes. They communicate with the ovaries. The ovaries of the woman refer to the place where the eggs are produced in a woman. For a woman to conceive or to achieve a pregnancy, the woman produces an egg, and then the sperms meet the egg in the tube, and they form a baby, and the baby now moves into the womb to settle in the womb. So the tube is a very thin organ. It is very thin. The space within it is very thin. It's very small. So any infection just causes blockage.
Wow.
And with this blockage, it is like a door. The sperm is coming from below, and the egg is coming from within the woman. So it is like a door has been shut. So the two cannot meet. So you cannot form a baby. So unsafe abortion is one of the causes of this blockage of the tubes. And this has been shown to be a cause of infertility.
Wow, so much information there. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, Dr. Akaba is going to give us more in-depth information about fertility, infertility, family planning, and abortion. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Before the break, I was having a chat with Dr. Akaba. She's still here with me. Welcome back.
Thank you. So I think you've all heard what we've spoken about so far. So I cannot leave here without emphasizing prevention. In medicine, we talk about prevention. We have primary prevention, secondary prevention, tertiary prevention. Primary prevention, we are talking about abstinence here. And abstinence, in all religions, there is promotion of abstinence. Christianity, Islam, any form of religion. So as young ladies coming up, abstinence still holds true today. And then even if you cannot abstain, we have family planning. Despite the family planning, you should get pregnant. There are still safe places you can go for abortions. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, some fear has been put in me, and I believe some fear has been put in my sisters out there watching My Little Secret today. You heard it all from Dr. Akaba. Abortion does affect your fertility. Do we want to risk it? Do we want to risk it for even the man who will buy us the world? That at the end of the day, you will not be able to be a mother because your cervix was tampered with. As you can see, I am not out of chat, but I'm out of time. Until next time, I am your host, Kezia, on My Little Secret, where secrets are for sharing.